Pablo Escobar. This man was a murderous terrorist, but poor people in Colombia called him a hero. He made more money than most countries. His name changed the drug world forever. This is the story of Pablo Escobar, the richest criminal who ever lived. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born on December 1, 1949 in Rio Negro, a small village outside Medellin, Colombia. His father was a poor farmer and his mother was a school teacher. Soon after he was born, his family moved to Medellin, where he grew up in poverty. Escobar was a smart kid, but his family didn't have enough money to pay for his education, so he dropped out of school. While still a teenager, he began a life of crime. His first illegal business was selling fake diplomas. He also sold illegal cigarettes, fake lottery tickets, and even stole cars. But petty theft wasn't enough for him. His first big score came from a kidnapping. He kidnapped a rich individual and got a ransom of $100,000. That money became his seed money for the biggest gamble of his life. In the early 1970s, Escobar saw a huge opportunity. Americans had just discovered cocaine, and the United States couldn't get enough of it. Escobar started smuggling marijuana first, then switched to the far more profitable cocaine trade. In the mid-1970s, after ordering the murder of a major drug trafficker named Fabio Recipro, Escobar took control of Medellin's drug trade. In the mid-1970s, Escobar co-founded what would become the most powerful criminal enterprise in history, the Medellin cartel. His business plan was simple: bring cocaine paste from Peru and Bolivia, turn it into powder in hidden Colombian labs, and flood the United States with it. How rich he really was. At its peak in the mid-1980s, the Medellin cartel controlled an estimated 80% of the entire global cocaine market. That meant Escobar was supplying up to 15 tons of cocaine to the United States every single day. His cartel was generating a mind-blowing $420 million per week. That's nearly $22 billion per year. To put that in perspective, Escobar's daily earnings often outpaced the entire revenue of the Colombian government. In 1987, Forbes magazine put Escobar on its first ever billionaires list. They estimated his personal net worth at over $2 billion. By 1989, Forbes ranked him as the seventh richest person in the entire world, with an estimated net worth of $9 billion, and many experts believe that was a very conservative estimate. With that kind of money came absurd, almost unbelievable extravagance. He owned a fleet of planes, including a Learjet that was used just to fly his money around. He had private submarines to move his cocaine. His main house, Hacienda Napoles, was a 7,000-acre estate that he began building in 1970. It had a private zoo with giraffes, elephants, and even a life-size dinosaur statue. At the height of his power, Escobar illegally imported exotic animals, including a male and a female hippopotamus. But his wealth came with a bizarre problem. He had so much unlaundered cash that he didn't know what to do with it. His workers spent $2,500 a month just on rubber bands to bundle the bills. And his brother later revealed that rats, water, and decay would destroy an estimated 10% of their hidden cash every year. That's over $2 billion simply lost to rot. Plata o plomo, the real terror. Escobar had a simple, terrifying philosophy to stay on top. Plata o plomo, silver or lead. Take a bribe or get a bullet. He used this ruthlessly. He targeted rival drug traffickers, government officials, police, and anyone who got in his way. In 1984, after Justice Minister Rodrigo Lara Bonilla publicly accused Escobar of being a drug trafficker, Escobar ordered his assassination. That murder marked the beginning of a full-scale war between the cartel and the Colombian government. Escobar's violence reached a horrifying peak in 1989. On November 27, 1989, he ordered a bomb to be placed in a Avianca Flight 203, a commercial plane. The bomb exploded mid-flight, killing all 107 passengers and crew on board. Escobar's real target was presidential candidate Cesar Gaviria, who was supposed to be on that plane, but Gaviria didn't board. Over 100 innocent people died instead. Escobar is believed to have personally ordered the murders of over 400 people. He was responsible for 85 separate bomb attacks across Colombia. He turned the city of Medellin into the most dangerous city in the world. He was not just a drug trafficker. He was not just a drug dealer. He was a full-blown narco-terrorist who brought an entire nation to its knees. The double life, the Robin Hood and the politician. But here is the paradox that confounds the world to this day. While he terrorized the rich and powerful, Escobar carefully crafted the image of a Colombian Robin Hood. He poured millions of dollars into the slums of Medellin. He built entire neighborhoods, including one still called Barrio Pablo Escobar today, and along with schools, soccer fields, hospitals, and sports facilities for the poor. To the poor people of Medellin, he was a hero who cared when the government did not. Even decades after his death, some Colombians still say prayers for him. This popularity was so powerful that it launched him into legitimate politics. In 1984, Escobar ran for office. He was elected as an alternate member of the Chamber of Representatives, part of Colombia's Congress. He was a sitting congressman and the world's most wanted drug lord at the exact time. For a brief period, he had real political power. He even had presidential ambitions. But in 1983, a major newspaper began exposing his criminal activities. The Justice Minister publicly accused him of being a drug trafficker, and Escobar lost his seat in Congress. That's when the war between Escobar and the Colombian government truly began. The fall, the prison, escape, and his death. By the early 1990s, the Colombian government, backed heavily by the United States, had had enough. In 1991, Escobar surrendered, but he made a deal. He would go to prison, but he would not be sent to the United States. And true to form, he built his own prison. It was called La Cathedral, the Cathedral. But it was no normal prison. It was a luxurious country club. It had a powerful nightclub, a waterfall, a soccer field, a spa, and a fully equipped bar. From inside his prison, Escobar continued to run his entire drug empire. He even had his lieutenants visit him for business meetings. But the illusions shattered when Escobar tortured and murdered two of his own associates inside a La Cathedral. The government decided enough was enough. They announced they were moving him to a real prison. On July 22, 1992, Escobar simply walked out the front gate and escaped. He was a fugitive for the next 16 months. The manhunt was massive. A special task force called Search Block, working with the US DEA, hunted him across Colombia. Finally, on December 2, 1993, one day after his 44th birthday, they tracked him to a middle-class neighborhood in Medellin. A fierce shootout erupted. Escobar and his bodyguard ran to the roof of the house and fired at soldiers below. Escobar was shot 3 times, in the leg, the upper back, and a fatal bullet that struck him in the head. Pablo Escobar, the king of cocaine, was dead on that rooftop. He was 44 years old. The legacy, what he left. After his death, the Medellin cartel crumbled, but the chaos Escobar unleashed lived on. The violence he started continued for years. His fortune was so huge that much of it was never found. To this day, people in Colombia are still digging up hidden cash that Escobar buried. But Escobar left behind something else, something truly bizarre. Remember those hippos he imported for his private zoo? After his death, the 4 hippos were left at Hacienda Napoles. They were too big and too dangerous to move, so they were just left there. Those 4 hippos escaped into the Colombian wilderness, and they found a paradise. Colombia had plenty of water and no natural predators, and a perfect climate for breeding. Today, that original group of 4 has exploded into a population of over 100 hippos. They have become an invasive species, and environmental authorities have declared them a biological pollutant. Pablo Escobar was a brutal terrorist who murdered hundreds of people. He was a billionaire businessman who controlled 80% of the world's cocaine, and he was a folk hero who built homes for the poor. He was not just a man. He was a story that reshaped an entire country.